All right, so if we want to find the domain and range of a graph like the one I've drawn here, then basically, for the domain, what we're looking for is we're looking for all the x values on our graph. And so the x values run from left to right across this graph. So what we want to do first to find the domain is we want to look for the leftmost point on our graph. And in this particular case, because the shape of our graph is a parabola, the thing's going to go to the left forever. And so we say for this problem that the domain starts at negative infinity because the graph goes to the left forever. And then as we trace along the graph, we're going to look for the rightmost point. And again, the same thing kind of happens on the right. It just doesn't stop. It moves to the right forever. So we say that our domain goes to positive infinity. So negative infinity to positive infinity is our domain. Range, on the other hand, we're going to be thinking about y's, and we want to work our way from the bottom of the graph to the top of the graph. So in this particular case, if we're looking for the bottommost point, we do have one. This is the bottommost point on our graph right here, right? And again, when we're thinking about range, we're thinking about y values. So we want to make sure we're using the -1 as the start of our range because that's the bottommost point on our graph. Now, in addition to that, -1 is really a point on my graph. It's really part of the picture here that makes this parabola. So we need to make sure we're including it in the range. And the way that we do that is we put a square bracket with that number. So square bracket means that the point is really included in your graph, okay? And then that's our bottommost point. Remember, we're going from bottom to top, so we try to find the topmost point. Doesn't happen, the thing goes up forever, so we say that the range goes to positive infinity. Now, infinities and negative infinities will always have parentheses with them because they're not really numbers. They're not really parts of your graph. They're just an idea that kind of tells you that the graph goes forever. Okay, so hopefully this helps a little bit with the domain and range stuff. Let me know if you have more questions.